communication. Because who here already works as a medium or does readings? Hands up, anyone? One of you? A few. What are you doing here, love? All right then, okay. How many have worked on platform? A while ago, doesn't matter if it's a while ago, you've done it, yeah? How many do private one-to-ones? Is that sort of... Okay, no worries. You do. Basically, you'll know. Anyone here has not ever done it before, ever? First time, you can put your hand down. You. So just one of you, never done it right. Then two of you. Well, I've got my 2 guinea pigs. Good. Right. Okay. Because I mean, some of you might have been in my workshops before. I like to work in a nice, fun way because it's better than being miserable, isn't it? Obviously not to everyone here. But because there's a reason for that, because as you know, or most of you would know, whenever you're learning anything new, I think it's only about 30% of what you learn stays with you. The next 70% is gone. Some of you did know that, didn't you? It's like trying to... I'm just going to stand there and watch the paint dry. If you work in an uplifting, humorous way, you are happy, correct? Yes. Good. And if you're happy, did you know that more sinks in and you remember more? Yes? Because you'll remember your happy memories more than your bad memories, don't you? Yes. Thank you. That's why we work in an uplifting, I'm not going to drink yet. Uplifting way. Because, let's be honest, there's enough misery in the world, isn't there? Especially the past year and a half. And how many here sit in circle? A few of you. Okay, and how many of you have had it all disrupted over the past year and a half? Yeah, all of you. Great. I mean, my work had to stop, but anyway, because it's like, but when you paused any sort of development or spiritual work, I always found the great thing about it is you don't lose anything. For example, if you're a marathon runner, and you don't train for 6 months, you'll lose a bit of that stamina, wouldn't you? Yeah. When you work with spirit or work spiritually, you'd lose nothing. You just pick up where you left off. Doesn't matter how many years you put it on the back burner or whatever, but you always pick up where you left off for the people who haven't done it for a long time. Yes? Good. Now, one of the main reasons we all like doing this is my mic on, Richard. Okay. No, not this one. I've got 3 mics. No, they just plant them on me, love. And I forgot, where was I? Yes, spirit communication. I mean, one of the main reasons we're all involved is we like to communicate with spirit, correct? Yes. Okay, why would you want to communicate with spirit? Anyone? Sorry? Thank you, to help people, yes? Because it's all, I mean, I know some of you be healers, some of you want to be communicators, some of you want to work on platforms, some of you will work, who works with cards? You put your hand down quick then, you thought you were going to get picked on, didn't you? Who works with cards? I know you do. Okay. Still working with cards? Just checking. And I started out using cards many moons ago. I don't know if anyone remembers. I had, you know the major arcanas? I had them blown up to A4 size, and just used them at first. Do you remember that? Anyway, but I soon ditched them a long time ago, because you know with cards, etc., what are they? Thank you. I like to use the word crutch. Because you rely on them. Does that make sense? And I'll tell you a quick story, because my workshops, I like to get people involved. So I'm not actually going to... I like them because they're called workshops, because I don't do the work. You all do the work. So if you think you're just going to sit there and listen to me and have an easy ride, no. Because what we'll do, I've got an abscess, it's playing me up, okay? Will. Communicate with spirit. Who knows all about their guides, etc.? Hands up. One of you, 2 of you, some of you, not sure. Okay. Is it important to know too much, to know everything about your guide? Is it important? No, it isn't. Is it important to have, because a guide is in the, I will diverse in the subject matter, I always do, because I sort of go off on a tangent for other things, but it all comes together, because you've all met them. We all meet people that think, oh, I can't go shopping today. My guide told me I can't go shopping. Yes? I know that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you hear that, don't you? Yeah? The clue's in the name. He's a guide, or she's a guide, or they're a guide. It's a guide. It's not sacrosanct. Does that make sense? And because, I mean, they're there, I mean, there's many. I like to look at it as like, it's like a company, okay? Because you've got your main guide, yes? That's from you from birth, as it were. And then you've got other little guides that will come in and out of your life to help with various different things, yes? It's like a company. Excuse me. You know, with a company, you get chairman of the board, vice president, co-vice president, department running, you know, one department manager. I like to think it's a bit like that. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you've got your main one, who's the governor, your Alan Sugar, if you like. Well, that'd be horrible having him as a guide, wouldn't it? Oh, that'd be nasty. I just thought of that. That's not a good thought. Okay, but they're there. And it's always nice, especially if you're going to work with spirit or be a servant to spirit. People don't like the word servant, but what other words are you going to use? You know, it's better than slave, which sometimes feels like it. But no, you'll work with spirit. And the main job or the main purpose as a working medium or clairvoyant, whatever label you want to put on it, because the problem with us humans, we love putting labels on things and pigeonholing things, don't we? We love it. It's like if we don't understand it, then we've got to label it. Does that make sense? Your guides are just there. And it's nice to have a nice relationship with your guides when you go through the spiritual life, because the main purpose of working with spirit and communicating with spirit is people? Sorry? What? Thank you. Evidence. What your main purpose is to produce evidence of life after death. Yes? Yeah, because not so difficult in an environment like this, because most people here are quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Open to it, yeah, switched on. They're a bit savvy. They know what it's all about. They know that life carries on. Does that make sense? Few of you, it might be your first time. Colin, I believe. What's your name? Tea? Not right now. Coffee will be better. No, tea. The first thing you want to, and this is what my first circle leader told me many moons ago, is like when you get a message, the best thing to do is get 3 bits of evidence. 3 different pieces of evidence, yeah? Because the first thing you need to do is establish your communicator. Yeah? What's the best way of establishing your communicator? Sorry? Ask, right? I mean, some of you will, no same medium works the same. I'm sorry, no different medium works the same. We all work differently. It's like we all work, I mean, you know, you've got all the clair things, clairsentience, clairaudience, chocolate clair. And what's a clairaudience is hearing, clairsentience, clairvoyance, right. They're your main 3 ones. I mean, you've got others, but they're your sort of main 3, yeah? Now, if you're all working as mediums, or you're all working spiritually, or with a communicator, each one of you will have a little bit of all those 3. But you will all have a dominant one that will sort of be more dominant than the others. Because when people say, oh, do you see spirit? Some people say, yes, I see spirit, and it's a bit like there. Some people see spirit in their mind's eye. Yeah? When you hear spirit, it's like, I don't know about you lot, but I hear it. You remember the old-fashioned transistor radios? You used to dial them in, and you get stuck between Luxembourg and Jackie and all the static. It's a bit like that sometimes, and that's why with some messages, with some mediums, it'd be quite concise, quite clear, and it'd be like, oh, I got your granddad Jacob here. Oh, he told me he dropped off the building at the Empire State Building, etc., etc. Not true, is it? Just checking. It's a joke, people. Got any Anadin? Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's like getting that evidence, because you see in some mediums it'll be clear, concise, same medium on the same night. We'll have another communicator, and it'll be, oh, I'm getting this J, or I'm getting something, I'm being shown something. Yeah? It's the same medium, but it's a different communicator because they all work differently and it all comes across differently, as in tuning in a radio. Does that make sense? Because I think people say, well, how come, especially the skeptics of the world, they will go, well, how come they can do this and blah, 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 and he just said, I mean, they do, they take the piss. Oh, sorry, I don't care, I'm being broadcast, who cares, we're all grown-ups. They take the mickey, especially the comedians, they do. And I think they're quite right, because but with communication, you will get a communicator that you really have to work hard with. Does that make sense? Not their fault, it just happens. Why it happens, would you like to know? I ain't got a clue. Don't know. But it's a bit like doing this work. You all drive, don't you? Yes? Everyone here drives? Oh, there's going to be one, isn't there? The majority of you drive, okay? I drive. I think I drive quite competently, quite well. But I don't know how the engine works. You know, I don't know the mechanics of the car, but I know I can drive. It's a bit like that working spirit. I know it works. I don't understand the full mechanics of it all, but I know I can drive that thing. Does that make sense? And when you are communicating with spirit, who's in charge? No, I'm not. You are. Don't see what I did there, do you? It's definitely Sunday afternoon here, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? But, so, who's in charge? No. No. You are in charge. You are in control. Yes? Or we like to think we're in control, but you're in charge. I mean, you might not be in charge, especially publicly, because I do private readings. This is my living, it's what I do. I mean, publicly, it can get, because you'll have them all piling forwards, trying to get forward, if you're doing a public then. Yes? You will. That's just the nature of the beast. But when you're in a private reading, it's like, how many do private readings? A few of you? Yes? And you know, you don't get anyone who pops in who's nothing to do with that person, do you? You're in charge. I can't make you a better communicator with spirit. No one can. It's only you can do that. And what are the ways that we can improve our communication? Yes. Gordon Higginson. And most of you know who Gordon Higginson is, yes? One of his sayings was, it was like, he had a lovely voice. Anyone ever know him, met him? Very no-coward, wasn't he? Hello, very elegant, fantastic voice. I have a gentleman here. And he'd do the message, and he'd look at the people in the congregation audience, they go, I'm good, aren't I? Fantastic man. And never got the recognition he should have done, did he? Never got the recognition he should have, I don't think. Anyway, look him up if you don't know who he is. He would always say, what you need to do is readings, 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 readings. Because the more you do, the more adept you get at it. Now, who here, because we all sit in circles, yes? We all do readings, maybe some of us done oh no, he don't. He's too busy out on his bike. Oh dear, okay. She's put kibosh on that. Right, how many of you sit there, and it's very common, you will sit there, and you're in your circle, and someone's giving out a message, and you're going, I knew that, but I didn't say nothing. Don't you people? Yes. Or when you think, right, I want to work in the churches, I want to do, not stage work, platform work, thank you. I want to do platform work, etc., etc., but I don't feel ready yet. I'm not confident enough. Yes? You'll say that? Yeah, right. I'm telling you something now, kids. You're never going to get confident enough. I'm not confident. I'm not confident at all. I mean, I've only been doing it 2 weeks, but... Oh, they're tough, aren't they? But I'm not confident at all. But what I am... I know, that's a better way of putting it, that it works. That doesn't make you confident. It's that you know if it works. I mean, if you get up on a platform and say, I know, you've got a busy... You're at Wimbledon. Wimbledon holds about 200 people. You're in there, you've got 200 people there. You get up there and you're... What do you do? 2 things you can do. 3 things you can do. Didn't think of dying. 3 things you can do. Excuse me, my throat's bad. Does abscess cause bad throats as well? It does, doesn't it? Thank you. Right, you're on platform. You're sold out. The quietness, the hum of the people. I meant to say buzz of the people, actually. The buzz of the people. You can hear a pin drop. You get up there. You do your good evenings, everybody, and you get nothing. What do you do? Two things you can do. Lose what? No. What would you personally do if you get up? No, it's nothing to do with confidence. I'm saying, what would you do? Well, you can have a drink of water, yeah. What would you do? Two things you can do. Well, you can do, but the first and basic thing you need to learn is to be honest. I've seen it before. People go out there and go, I'm not getting anything. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't happening. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. You don't, I've seen some mediums do it, they try and force it, and they talk a load of rubbish. And it makes, you know what I mean? So just be honest, say, I've seen Colin Fry do it. He got nothing. He went, sorry everybody, and he just told a few anecdotes and had quite a good night actually, it was all right. And there's another thing you can do. Right, you know the difference between working with spirit and working psychically, yes? Very quickly, work with spirit, working with the communicator, working psychically, you're drawing off that person as such. Does that make sense? Good. What you can do, and it is acceptable, is to say to your audience, sorry, it's not working, etc. So what I'll do, I'll try and work psychically and see what happens. And then you can pick on a person, work psychically with them, which is completely different than the communicator. 9 times out of 10, halfway as you're doing it, someone will pop in. Yeah? Just a few tips I'm giving you, all right. I hope it all goes well at night. I really shouldn't be talking like this. Just going to happen, I'm going to get up at night and go, oh, I've got nothing. And it does happen. Does it make you a bad medium? No, it's a bad day at the office. Simple as that. Same with readings. You've got someone sitting in front and say, I've got nothing, which happens more often than not, rather than publicly. You know, just say, no, not got a communicator at all. So, diversed again there. I've got a good story for you, right? You all remember Keith and Derek, yes? Keith Charles, Derek Robinson, yeah? The second time out with them, because I was very lucky to get involved with him, the second time out with them, we went to, I can't remember, it's 2004, I think. We went out to, we was doing Leeds, might be 4 or 5. I was 22. No, I wasn't. Not one of you agreed with me. And do you remember the good old days? Some of you of a certain age will remember the good old days. It used to be on telly, yeah? You know the theatre it was in, the Leeds Variety Theatre? We was doing a demonstration there. It was sold out. I think it was about 600 people, okay? And in them days, it was only my second time in a theatre. I'd do, Keith would go on, he'd do like 20 minutes as an introduction. I'd go on for 20 minutes, then he'd come on and finish off, yeah? He's got 20 minutes, and I've come out, and it's only my second time on a theatre. Done platform a few times, and I'm out there, and it's about 600 Northerners as well. and there's me with me South London accent, and for some reason they was all out to drink in the theatre. So you got 600 pissed Northerners. And me. I've gone out there and I thought, I know, best way to get people on board is crack a joke, yes? So Keith's done a few messages, I've gone and I said, good evening ladies and gentlemen. I work slightly differently to Keith because what I do, I stand here and you give me messages. You could have heard a pin drop. It was 600 people, total silence. Tumbleweed. I heard Dell in the background, off stage. He just went, oh dear. And that was a highlight of the night. And that was it. I come off. Obviously, it went bad then. It didn't go well. I come off. I thought, that's it. I'm sod down. I'm not doing this. Not doing it. Lucky enough, next day we was travelling down. We went to Melton Mulberry, where he made me get up and do it again. It went brilliantly. It went fine. So it works. I'm just saying that because it happens. That makes sense. You'll be lucky if you're in a church and it happens with, I don't know, 50, 60. It's not as bad as 600 drunk northerners, okay? So when it does go pear-shaped, just remember little on me on the stage. Right, so to improve your communication, what's the best thing to do? Practice. And with practice, I mean, you can't go out and just grab people off the street and go, oh, I want to talk to you, I've got dead people here. You know what I mean? So what's another way to improve your communication? Circle, yes, circle, yeah. But then you're not going to do circle every day, are you? No? No. Because one of the greatest things, or one of the weirdest things about doing this work, the less you do, the better you get. I'm not talking about readings. The less you try, the better you are. Does that make sense? Because it's like how many times, I mean, you hear all the stories where people are I don't know, they're in the bathroom, I'm going to keep it clean. And all of a sudden they say, oh, this bloody woman popped in. Or I'm in the shower. Do you know what I mean? You hear that a lot, yes? Or I've just drifted off and someone's standing by my bed. Why? Why does it happen then? Because you're relaxed. You're not got tense and you're just calm and relaxed, which is it's a real sort of paradox, because if you're up in front of a load of people, or you've got a stranger in front of you, you don't know from Adam, and you've got to convince them that life continues. You're not going to be relaxed about that, are you? But you've got to be, because the more you're chilled out and relaxed, the easier it flows. Because the more you worry about it, you've got your own thoughts will come in, and not cock it up, but they will sort of, it's like a block. Does that make sense? So what's another way you can learn to relax and chill out? Thank you. Got there in the end, didn't we? Jesus Christ, it only took 10 minutes. I found a penny. It's a cardboard one, isn't it? Right, so yeah, meditation. Now, when I first started, you all read the spiritual books, haven't you, about communication, etc., and different books, yes? And have you all noticed that one book will contradict another book? And you don't know what to do? It's a personal thing, it's what suits you. Because when I first started, there was talk about you need to meditate an hour a day. I'm sorry about you people, I don't have time in my life to meditate an hour a day doing nothing. Yes? 10 minutes is fine, 50 minutes. And it's like, and you all know about chakras. I'm not going to teach you what suck eggs. You all know about that, don't you? Yeah, and you open your chakras. Now, in the days of Doris Stokes, Gordon Higginson, did they have chakras? No, it's only sort of coming in the 70s, you see. So is it important? No. We like to do it because we feel we should do it. Does that make sense? Yeah, and you're getting it's like, I don't know if it's a superstitious thing. It's, you get in a habit. You have it is a superstitious thing. You think, oh God, I didn't meditate. Oh, I didn't do this. Oh, I haven't got my dad's watch on. Oh, it's all going to go very wrong. It's got nothing to do with what you do. It's to do with them, but you're in charge of steering it. Does that make sense? This is where we get to who's in charge. You are, because you're the driver of the vehicle. I like the car analogy. I've never used that before. It's quite good, isn't it? Say yes, Ivan. Yeah. I'm glad someone did. Right, so meditation's always a good thing. Now, who here can meditate very well and not think about nothing for 5 minutes, let alone 15, 20. Who can do that? Really? I can't. I can't. I've got stuff going on. It's like, I mean, you want to be inside my head sometimes. It's unbelievable. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. But what happens is, because you're in that quiet, relaxed state, mentally you might be going, oh, I've got to do the shopping. Oh, when I've done this, I'll go and have a bath. Oh, I've got to go and see my brother. You know what I mean? You'll have that internal monologue might still be going on, and then you drift off, and then it come back. Oh God, should I have spaghetti tonight? That silly things. It doesn't matter, because you're still meditating. Because you look on the analogy of the computer. When the computer's, you download something on the computer, yeah, you can still use it, send emails. It's still downloading, isn't it? So your ether, whatever you want to call yourself, it's still downloading stuff. It's still getting through. You might not realise it, but they might be putting a new app in you. Do you know, that sounded wrong. You know what I mean? Yes? It still works. Because, so what we're going to do, how many is there? Talk about yourselves for a minute. 23 of you. You're in, 24 of you. Right. You. Yes. Right, 24 of you. So, the best about communication, how do you improve it? Meditation, yes? Oh, liven up, people, for God's sake. Please. Yes, meditation? Right. Relaxation? And you've got to have fun doing it, because if you don't have fun doing it, what's the point of doing anything? Right, and back to what you need, or you should require to, I mean, we're not going to talk about messages, because each message is different, and sometimes when you're, especially public work, not so much private readings, you get a communicator, does there have to be a message? No, there doesn't. Sometimes, I mean, you must ring your kids up or whatever and say, I just want to say hello, how you doing? Nothing particular. They'd be the same. Does that make sense? They'd be exactly the same. So you don't have to give a message. Does that make sense? And you all know about messages to give. You don't. Anyway, I won't go into that. It's a different workshop. So, 3 pieces of evidence is always a good start. Yes? Or minimum 3. What constitutes as evidence? Anybody? A name. Okay, yes? Who said that? Relationship. Yes. You want to find who they are. Yeah? Dad, mum, whatever. Does that make sense? Don't get stuck on names. Because you think, I've got to get a name, It sometimes don't work like that. I mean, we've seen quite a different lot of mediums already work over the past 2 days, yes? How many names were coming up? Not many, but it was who they were. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I mean, it's great to get a name, but then you can mishear a name. Yes? I don't know, that's when the difference in the communicators will come in. Some will be clear and you'll get it. They'll give you it. Some will be like, I don't know if that's John, Joe, or what is that? Does that make sense? Does it be like that? Who they are, male, female, the relationship. Right. Another piece of evidence, someone said dates. Who said dates? Yeah, dates. What constitutes as a significant date? Yeah, but whose, where, what? Because if you do it, because you go, I've got blah, blah, blah here. Oh, he's telling me about March, something. Oh, yeah, that's my second cousin removes her birthday. Yes. Not really important, is it? Do you know what I mean? But an anniversary, always good for an actual birthday, either the person you're talking to or the person that's communicating with, or someone that's very close to them, like their husband, wives, etc. Does that make sense? Or even an anniversary. Usually anniversary of passing is a good one to get them, because then you have tears. And what kind of, if someone cries when you give a message, what's that mean? You're doing a good job. That's why they're more good private readings, I stamp on their foot. They didn't get that one, did they? Bloody hell. No. Oh, he ain't getting a message tonight. Right. So, yeah, it's like, but the problem is, when you first, some of you haven't worked a lot, the first time you are given the message and they start to get emotional, what does it do to you as the person? It puts you right off. It really does. You think, shit, I've got to get this right. Do you know what I mean? It's very... Oh, I'm used to it now, I couldn't give it. Because you end up to the point, it's not arrogance, you just think, if it works, it works. If it don't work, it don't work. Don't care anymore. Not don't care, but it's like, I know it works, and if it don't work for some reason tonight, or for this reading, or for this stem, then it ain't working. For whatever reason. Don't get hung up on it, because you will have bad days at the office. It's life. More evidence, what do we need? Names? Memory links, yeah, memory links. But who's not been by the seaside? That's the one. Who said that? Yes, how they pass. That we all enter the world in one way, usually. Yes? We all leave this world in so many different ways, different scenarios, you know. It's like, if you always get who they are, what they pass with. Because that is quite, because you want, every message needs to be personal for that person. Does that make sense? It needs to be personal for that person. And when you work, this is for public work. Private reading is a completely different thing because you're only with that person. But if you're working publicly, it's like your main obligation at that moment in time is to that person you're talking to and the communicator. Never mind anybody else. Does that make sense? It's always nice trying to gauge the others because otherwise you've been there with a medium in the churches. Who goes to Croydon Church? Anyone? Chatsworth Road. Oh, weren't they miserable there? Really miserable. And it's really the oldest Sebastians of. They even do the old hymns on a Wednesday night, clairvoyance night, and no one's sitting. You know, and they're so old school, really. Yeah, I was there. I don't have me back anymore. I don't know why. The chairperson there, and it was. Sounds flash, but it was packed, and I did my bit, and they all applauded. Chairperson got up and went, "Oh, we'll be having none of that." Seriously, could you believe we'll be having none of that? I thought, oh, for Christ's sake. Anyway, but got what it was. Yeah, so it's your main obligation when you've got the spirit communicators there. Now, need to work with spirit. 3 things you get. If you get who they are, what they died of, an anniversary date, or how many children. That makes sense? Anything. What else would constitute as evidence? Anyone? What they did for a living? Anything. That's a... Thank you. Fact. You need a fact. Because I was very lucky enough, because it's like, I developed with Keith Charles, who is, as you know, an ex-policeman. And what do ex-policemen do? Get facts. And that's how that helped me, because I thought, right, mind you, I need to swear again. When you're on stage in front of a couple of hundred people, there's a curtain behind you, and I used to say a word all the time for some reason, and I heard Derek going, 1, 2, you said that 4 times behind me, no one else could hear it. So I didn't just have problems, which you all have, of working with a spirit communicator, because at the time you're doing a conversation. Person, the communicator, and yourself. You've got a 3 conduit going on. Does that make sense? Throw in another one from the outside. It's a good upbringing. Training, whatever. So, what we're going to do now, because there's 24 of you, I need you all to pair up with someone you don't know. Don't all get up at once. It's a workshop. We're going to do some work. Right. If you're uncomfortable being too close to someone, I don't care. You don't have to be too close to anybody, but pair up with someone. It's a big enough room, everybody. Right. Actually, no. Can Lorna, can you go with this gentleman? Because you know what, you're too... No, sorry, Mary, you go with this gentleman. She'll help you with this, you see. She does it, okay?
I'm spare.
Because it's his first time. Well, yeah, go over there. Oh, yeah, that's 2. You 2 don't know each other, do you?
Yeah, we do.
Well, bugger off. You go over there. Right. Are you looking for someone? There? There. Right. Who knows who? Right. Who's experienced it? You are. You go with Colin.
No, but I know you already.
Hey, oh, with you? Right.
Yeah.
You with him?
I know this lady.
Go on then.
I know this one.
Go on then. I ain't said do anything yet. Right. Has everybody got, are they with a partner or a companion? Not a companion, Ivan. Are they with a partner they don't know?
Yeah.
Right. Isn't it weird? You'll sit there, listen to me, and you don't say much. You're quite a miserable bunch. But put the 2 of you together, and it's chat. Did you notice that? Right, so what you're going to do is pay attention. It's a time that it's always had you remember the old-fashioned blackboard rubbers? Yeah. Bam! Who got them on the back of the head when I was a kid? I did. Poof! Okay. Yeah. Anyway, right, okay, so, what's the first thing you need to do? Because you're going to give each other a little reading here. No, you're not going to give each other a little reading. That's the wrong thing to say. What you're actually going to do is get a loved one communicator for the person who's with you. Okay? Now, some of you going, no problem. Some of you going, oh, I don't know about that. And others of you going, oh, that ain't happening. Right? What happens if you think that ain't happening? What's going to happen? It's going to happen, is it? So don't panic about it. It's a classroom environment, if you like. You can have fun doing it. Don't worry. There's no problem. Never be afraid to be wrong. Because the person you're sitting with is not a skeptic. You wait till you go in a club or a pub and try and do it. With just a load of skeptics who've never seen it before. Church environment, this environment's a piece of cake. Because you'll know your loved ones are there. You'll have some sort of spiritual inkling or some sort of pull towards it. Yes? Just say yes, everybody. Saves a lot of time. I'm here all week. Well, you mustn't know that person. So the first thing you will need to establish, right? How can we work this out? Right. People who are facing that way, you're number one. People who are facing that way, you're number two. Number twos? No, you're number two. Well, whatever. Do you sort it out, mate? One of you's got to be one, one of you's got to be two. Does that make sense? Okay. So when we go person number one, da-da-da-da. You got it? Good. It's usually better when you're all lined up like that, but then people get really self-conscious because sitting here like this, you're probably more comfortable, aren't you? Yes? Good. Right. Now, you're going to start to work, okay? This is going to be person number one. Can person number one put their hands up, please? Oh, you've actually got that right. Well done. You passed the first test. I've done this workshop before and two people talking, both would go like that. It's like, no. Right, so, person number one, do you need to have your eyes closed when you do this? No, you don't. Why don't you close your eyes? I don't know. I daren't close my eyes. You don't know what they're going to do to you. No, you don't have to. You can. I'm not saying you do. It's, what you need to is what is entirely comfortable. All right, love. That's okay. Right. So person number one is going to get a communicator. Now, you just need 3 pieces of evidence. Don't worry about being wrong. So what you really need to establish first is what they are. Male or female. Yes? All of you will work differently. All of you might see an image in your mind's eye, all of you might hear something, or you might feel. The best sense, I think, is feeling. Because you can hear something wrong, can't you? You can mishear something, yes? You can not quite believe your eyes and missee something, yeah? It's like if I put that chair on the table and said, right, all of you describe that chair, you would probably come up with 20 different descriptions of the same object. But can you mistake a feeling? Feeling. No, you can't. Can you? So it's just, I mean, what does a man, I can say, what does a man feel like? You know what I mean. You can, it's like normal people, when you're outside in the street, you know when someone's standing too close to you. You can feel it, can't you? Because in your Auric field, and we all got the Auric field, it's all that Weetabix advert with, was it Weetabix? No, shredded wheat. It is one of them. I always thought it was just some kid that lived near Chernobyl, but no, it's ready brag. That's quite good, that one, isn't it? Yeah, we've all got the Auric field. I mean, the majority of you here, I would think, have seen the person who's passed, haven't you? Yeah? You've actually seen the person who's passed. They don't look like them, does it? They look different. Nothing's changed, but you can tell they're not there. Does that make sense? Because it's your life force, whatever you want to call it. Again, we have to put labels on stuff, don't we? But it's whatever it is gone. Right. Well, it's not gone. And so what's the first thing you haven't done? Person's number one. But we're just about to give the reading of a lifetime to the person in front of them. What haven't you done yet? 2 things, all right? Okay. But we won't talk about the introductions and all that. You haven't opened up. Or have you? Is it important to sit there for 20 minutes, open up your chakras and everything? No, it's not. It helps because it's your head. What I do is send up a little thought, little prayer if you like, whatever you want to say. I have a little statement I use. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's private and it's personal. But you have a little thing that helps you. And what that is a statement of intent. You're just intending, and it's a statement of intent to do work with spirit. Does that make sense? In my head, my mind's eye, I mean, quickly, you can open up like that. It's like a light switch. Bam, you're done. You're in. You're cooked. You're baked. You're ready to go. Got it? Good. Pay attention. It's where it gets fast. And what happens is, who's seen The Matrix? Keanu Reeves. Yeah. You know the bit when they plug him in the back of the head? In my head, that's happening to me. But then I walk back and go, no. Anyway, but That's what I do. Does that make sense? And it doesn't matter if I do it or not, but to me, it puts me in that frame of mind. That's all you're doing. You're putting yourself in that zone to work with spirit. And you can do it like that. You don't need to sit there and meditate for half an hour, saying 110 Bloody Marys, Hail Marys. You just open up, boom, right? Because some of you would already been opened up anyway. Because as soon as you talk about spiritual work, or think about spiritual work, or think about love, you're actually opening up anyway. Yes? Good? Right, so, person number one, you will have, person number one, close your eyes. All people number one, close your eyes. Taking a deep breath to the count of 2 and breathe out slowly. Repeat, taking a deep breath to the count of 2 and breathe out slowly. And just imagine your auric field being pushed out as it spread and fills the room. And just taking a deep breath, and it out slowly, and open your eyes. That's all you need to do. Right, you will have, okay, 3 minutes. Go. Just get 3 pieces of evidence. You're not doing it. You're not involved. He's there. Do him. Always remember, you can stop to pause. You don't have to talk non-stop. You've got 30 seconds left, so just wrap up the 30 seconds. Okay, everybody, like to wrap up, okay? Like to stop. Okay, right, now, I don't go, do I need this mic? No. I don't, do I? But it makes me feel quite important, so I'm going to keep it. Good evening, everybody. No, it's going in and out. Right, okay. Actually, my throat hurts, I'm going to use it. Right, now, Did that feel quite comfortable for people doing it? Felt all right? Yeah? No, what do you mean no? You've been doing it for years. But you felt, yeah. But you felt okay doing it, yeah? Because it's a relaxed environment, yeah? And even though it's a stranger, it's going in and out. I'm going to crack on anyway. Right. But, because I won't go around listening to what's said. That's better, isn't it? The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Right. Oh, this is a second ex-wife's name, isn't it? Yes, because I'm not going to judge is the wrong word. Critique on what you were saying to the other person, because that's the other person's job. Did anyone not get anything? Good. Did anyone not get anything and are too frightened to put their hand up? Good. Did anyone, person 2, not understand what was being said? A little bit. It's all right. No, it happens. Fine. It might be something else, or it might be. How can I put this? Right. When you work with spirit don't. They don't lie. Lie's a strong word. They don't forget. When you talk to normal people, they forget. They're thick. That's the way you've got to think of it. They're thick. I mean, those of you who work at it, you had one last night, didn't you, Sandra? You had one last night about walking out to sea? Yeah. It'll happen. And it's like afterwards they come up, yeah, actually, that was, you know what I mean? It will happen. All right. So it's my fault then, was it, love? Right. It's what I say, don't be afraid of being wrong, because you always remember that if your spirit don't lie, they will come through, and if you're getting it, you're getting it. It might not be for that person at that time, or that person might be forgetting or not connecting who that person is. So don't feel too bad about that. That happens. Right. Now, person number 2. It's your turn. So, person number 2, close your eyes. Taking a deep breath to the count of 2, and breathe out slowly. Taking a deep breath to the count of 2, and just breathe out slowly. Feel your auric field filling the room. A tingling feeling in your hands. Taking a deep breath and slowly open your eyes and begin. 3 minutes. 30 seconds. Nine, eight, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, just bring it to a close, people number 2. Person number 2, bring it to a close. Bring it to a close. Can't shut you up if you tried, could you? 1, 2, 3, 4, back in the room. That's good, that worked. Wow, I'm going to use that. Boom, right. Okay. Well done, everybody. Right, okay, did anyone not understand their communicator? No? Everyone was okay with it? If he's good. You can, well, you might have bad news when you get home. I'm joking, that's a joke. I'm going to say that one day and it's going to bloody happen, isn't it? Okay, but no, so that could be working psychically, because the thing is, you need to learn the difference between working with a communicator and working psychically. Does that make sense? Because they're very similar, the two go hand in hand. Now, can a medium who works with, you know the difference between the medium and psychic? Of course you do, you're not idiots. Can a medium work psychically? Yes. Can a psychic work with communicators? No. It's a weird one. It's like not all psychics can work with spirit. They work in a completely different way, completely different level, if you like, okay? But all mediums can work psychically, yeah? He might be working psychically. Does that make sense? Which is fine. Now, I love this bit, right, because you've got a nice... Did anyone get messages as well, apart from, or just the communicator? Think about it, yeah. Hang on. Questions at the end, love, all right? Did anyone say anything negative about their communicator? No. Right. This is when stuff gets, especially if you're going to work with spirit, because stuff can get a bit, because not everyone's loved ones, if they like, or everyone's people they know have passed, were nice people. Example, if I'm saying to you, I'm just going to pick on you, nothing, oh, dear, he's a lovely man, and he might have been the biggest wife-beater alcoholic in the world. Does that make sense? But the problem is, we're afraid to do this. But if that's what you're getting, that's if your dad was a bastard, you've got to say, oh, he was a right bastard. Good and I. Hang on a bit, a note of that for later. Good, right, got that. But do you know what I mean? It's like you've got to take not the negatives, but the truth. The truth. That's all it's about. Yes? I mean, you might have had it before, Sandra, because you've worked a while. You get someone, they go, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want him here. Does that make sense? You do get that. You know? I'm sorry, Mary, I keep forgetting you're over there. Hiding away in a corner. But, yes, so you've got to but then the negative, you've got to turn into a positive. Does that make sense? Your dad was, you've obviously heard his apologies or whatever. You've got to turn it around. Does that make sense? Because that's your job. When your main jobs, I've got a dentist Wednesday, I can't wait, do you know that? Oh, God, it's killing me. One of your main jobs is, apart from proving evidential life after death, what's the next thing that goes with it? Who said that? Is that you, Richard? You're not involved. You're just a producer. It's healing. It's all a healing process. And there's many ways of healing. There's normal healing, like spiritual healing. there's healing with words, healing with gestures, healing. That's the main purpose of being on this God's green earth. It's a bit strong, isn't it? But it's true. Yeah? And what is the... I'm going to go off on a tangent now. I can feel it coming. I won't. But it's like, you've got to be prepared for the negative as well. Does that make sense? With communicators. I've been doing it a while. I've had murderers come through, paedophiles come through, all sorts. You know? It's all about honesty. And if you're true to yourself, you're true to them. Does that make sense? Because, it's an old saying, you can kid others, you can't kid the Lord. Don't matter what your belief, or your Buddha, or your great cosmic queen or king, whatever you want to label it with. Because that's the problem we've got. We've got so many different... I'm going to go on a tangent. Feel it. We've got so many different religions, beliefs, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, and it's like, and it is all personal. It's what works for you, and that's what it works. Me, I think God. Yeah, and in my head, God is Charlton Heston with the beard and the robes. You know what I mean? That's in my head. James Mason, though. That's God to me. Does that make sense? Others you might see it as a cosmic or whatever, bright light. I don't know, or a big fat Buddha somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter, does it? Why doesn't it matter? Because it's what helps you. What
you believe in.
Yeah, it's what your faith is, if you like, or what you believe, and what helps you. It makes you be a better person. So if you're a better person, what does that mean?
You're better to others.
Thank you. You're better to others. I'm glad you're here, love. You're better to others. Yes, you are. We all miserable, crap times, and we all got kids. God, we know what they're like. You know, my mum passed last year, 2 days into lockdown. First lockdown, she passed. She's very ill anyway. And that was fun. And they would always give you messages and signs. I'm diversing now because many of you, it's like, oh, was it that Peter Kay sketch when he was talking about people who pass and they look at anything and think it's a sign from the departed one? Oh, a packet of quavers is going across. She loved quavers, you know what I mean? You've seen that sketch. I didn't make that up, did I? That's the thing. We do. We try and attach it to everything. I've got to tell you this. I woke up, the day after Mum passed, I woke up, and they let me in the home, they let me go and see her because I know her quite well. And I woke up, I was smoking then, I had a cigarette outside, and in my garden, I've got Chinese figures, like ornamental figures, all scattered. You know what I mean? Thank you. And the foxes are always in there knocking them down. Always. And I come out and I thought, they've been there again, they're all on the floor, and I went back in, had a coffee, come back out, and it's 7 o'clock now, and they're all standing up in their right place. Even I kicked myself. Cry older. I thought the foxes are getting clever, but that was my mum. You know. Things will happen, and it'll be when you least expect it. Because how many of you, the loved one that's passed, thinking, oh, come on, if you're there, move that table. Oh, let me know you're there, move that table. That ain't going to happen. Not when you expect it. I need it. But I always find it happens when you least expect it, but when you most need it. That's the weirdest thing about it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, right. Now, you've all relaxed a bit with that communication, haven't you? I need a volunteer. Oh, when it gone quiet. You've not done it before, Colin, have you? No. Yes, get up here then. Right, I need another volunteer, 2 people. Go on then. No, you was working with... No, come on then. Right. You 2. This is Colin, all the way from... Where are you from, Colin? Wallington? Yeah. I'm from Wallington. All the way from Wallington, Surrey.
I'm Linda.
I know you're Linda. Where are you from?
Epsom.
Linda from Epsom, Surrey, the home of horse racing. Here tonight. I was going to say here tonight for your pleasure, but this don't sound right, does it? Okay. Well, I know this is a bit like the open platform, what we're doing later, but I want to try and see if because now you've got an array of people. What are you looking at me for? You've got an array of people there, okay? All I need you to do is get a communicator. Don't answer. You lot, don't do nothing. All right? What you tuned in to do is get a communicator and just get 3 pieces of information. That's it. Just 3 pieces. And then we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll have a go.
Have a go. Go on then.
I've got a gentleman here that I believe is a father.
One piece. Yeah.
Okay. Quite large. Wore braces and stripy shirt. After his favourite stripy.
It's me.
Is it you?
Yeah, I've got braces.
Yeah.
Mate. Lately. Go on. Go on.
Oh, okay. And
Father.
Father, yeah. I would say to me, he's looked like he's smoking a pipe too.
Does that make sense to anyone? What bit of information go on? What did he pass with?
Is there anybody?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay.
Carry on.
Okay. I would say this gentleman had problems with his chest. I would also say that he's saying that he had diabetes as well.
Anyone? Sorry? Who said what? Hey? Think? No. Just say it is. You don't think. Don't think. Feel.
Oh, okay.
Feel. Don't think. Feel.
Okay.
Right. Someone's dad, chest problems. Cut it down.
It's not somebody's dad, it's their grandfather.
Don't never, ever backtrack.
Okay.
You got dad, you got chest problems. So, whose dad passed with chest problems? Hands up. There's about 4 of you here. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spot on, Ivan, because I'm good. Right. Now, you've got 4. This is what we should be doing. We were doing this later on, by the way. You've got 4 possibles. Get his name. Go on.
Can't get his name.
What?
Okay.
You just made that up.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I know. You just said I can't get his name, so what's going to happen?
Huh?
She says I'm not getting his name.
Yeah, that's it. So don't get one.
Well, it just came out my mouth.
John Frank. Frank.
All right, okay, Frank.
Anyone, Dad, Frank with chest problems? Oh, look, we got one over there. Did he wear braces, love? No, that's. I thought the braces were wrong, because I think that was Del jumping in. Sorry, it was Del jumping about. Bray's dad was jumping about.
Right.
And he will muck. You knew him, didn't you, Derek?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
All right, do now. Right. I forgot where I was. Dad.
Actually,
Here we go.
with work he did wear braces.
See what I mean about thick people? Yeah, and a lung condition? Yeah.
I would say this man.
No, crack on, love.
I'd say this man worked outside as a living when he was working his working life. Sorry?
Half an hour. That'll do. You've already given her 3 pieces of evidence.
have I?
You don't need anything more. Thank you very much. Linda, everybody, go sit down. Well done. Right, Colin, what you got for me?
I've got a very strong presence of a lady here who passed about 35 years, very bad eyesight, a very short lady, and who had problems with the leg here, and she was a great communicator with foxes and wild animals, and although her mum and dad gave her a lot of love, the reciprocation was not the same. She was a little bit, not retarded, but not very shy, but she
Reserved.
yeah, reserved, but and she lived in this place where there was a massive, great big
It's
green
enough,
field.
Colin. Right, does that make sense to anyone? What, yeah, do you mean 35 age or 35 years ago?
No, she was about around 35 when she passed.
She was young. Anyone know a young lady that passed? What's she passed with?
Really bad eyesight, like glasses like Coke bottle bottoms, you know.
Short-sighted then.
Well, yeah.
So no one connects with anyone that would have been 35 when they passed. Well, round about that age. Young passing. How did
She's still here.
she's living?
No, she's still with me.
Oh, still with you. I thought she's still. Yeah. So it's got to connect with someone. Come on, think about it, people. What did she pass with, Colin? Do you know?
She died of a bone disease, and one leg was more deformed than the other. She had a very short body and longer legs, but one of them was very deformed from a young age, and at certain times she had to wear a brace.
What makes sense to anyone? It's just could be years ago.
I had a cousin that fits that description, but she wasn't 35 when she...
Well, don't worry about the ages. Don't worry about the ages. But the descriptions, it's quite exact.
Yeah.
So that's because he never said grandmother or mother. He just.
And the nature side of it, the animals, they back their garden backed onto a field.
There you go, Cole. On fire, mate.
And as she got out of adolescence, 20, she actually lived in a separate house, an outhouse in the field, and she never really went anywhere and communicated with anyone. She had a very small circle, and she never got married or
That's all right.
anything.
Don't look at me.
You're from one of them, though.
Yeah, that makes sense. There you go, Colin. Everybody, well done, mate. Well done. See, simple pieces of information, and I'm glad it worked like that. Because you had a few of you going, no, I don't really know. I don't really know. It's like I said to you, people. They're not sick, but they don't click it straight away. Because in particular, we all go through. Well, I don't go reading, but we all go reading to hear from one particular person. Yes, that one particular person might not turn up, so therefore people will be a bit narrow-minded or single-minded as to who they want to hear from. Does that make sense? It's like I always say to people, like when I first was working, I'd always like to hear from my dad. My nan turned up, I wouldn't send my dad away. Does that make sense? No, I wouldn't send my nan away. Did I get that wrong? I got that wrong, didn't I? I'd want to hear from my dad, but if my nan turned up, I wouldn't send my nan away. Got it? That makes sense? Yeah. Because we are, the one thing we're not in control of who will turn up. But you are in control of steering that communicator. Does that make sense? Right. I've got the open, me and Ashley are doing the open, I'm hungry. I said that out loud, didn't I? It's a problem when you do this sort of work. You say things out loud you don't really mean to, and you think, did I say that out loud or was that in my head? Don't know. Okay. Right, any questions before we finish, wrap up? Any questions? Sensible questions? Nothing? Good? Good? Anything? Anything? Sorry? Oh, anything can happen. Yes, Colin.
Could some of these spirits that you come into contact with, or you're feeling inside you, could they be like more than like 100 or years old, or does it have to be someone
No.
that's past known in the present life of anyone here that's known them?
It could be anyone. I know what you mean, it could be anyone. It's like, I mean, I've had this before. I don't know if you've had it. You get people go, I don't know anyone who's dead. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they don't. Their grandparents might be living. Obviously, they would have great-great-grandparents that have passed. They might not have known them, but they can come forward, but they should really know about, you know, just that makes you work harder then, doesn't it? Because you've got to get their name. Oh, yeah, that's so-and-so, but I didn't know him. Do you know what I mean? Which is fine. Yeah. It's whoever steps forward. It's whoever comes in.
Sorry, can I ask you
Yeah.
a question? Yeah. And what is it? Is it true that someone, even generations back in your family, from like in the 1850s, that you could not only look like, but what you've heard genetically is exactly a copy of you?
That's a completely different. That's what's it called? What's it called? I was going to say regression, not regression. What? Past lives, yes. It's past lives. Of course, past lives. Whether it come back to the same family, I mean, it is a completely different subject. Past lives, because we've all been on this earth a few million times before. Do you know what I mean? We all bumped into people where you've met and think, oh, I know you, and you have never met them before. Yeah, you've all bumped into people. We might not admit it, and you think, I really don't like you at all, and they've not even opened their mouth, and you've got an instant dislike to them. Yes, happens because you've got that sort of thing from the past. Yeah, the clues in the name. Do lives matter? No, because they're past. Because if you look at history, there's bound to be one point in one of our lives that you'd probably murdered someone, could have possibly raped someone, or been a real pig. Do you know what I mean? Because of the lifestyle in them days, right? I mean, I know it's a completely different subject, but they do say, oh, we're putting these different to learn and everything. Because it depends what beliefs you got, because you come from the River Styx, your soul is washed clean, and it's as pure as a newborn baby, that expression. So the past lives don't matter. They don't. I mean, I know quite a few of my past lives. Some of you might know some of yours. They're quite interesting. But that's where it stops. It's interesting. It's like me running out there, stopping that bloke I've never met before, and punching him right in the head. And when he goes, what'd you do that for? I went, that's what you did in the past life to me. It don't work in court, does it? Do you know what I mean? So it's done. Does that make, yeah. You know, and it's like, and because of the societies we live in and over the years, you probably would, anyway, that's completely, you got me off tack again there, Cole. But do they come back in the same family? Don't know, really, it's a real thing, because I like to work with, what do we like to work with? As top budding mediums who are going to go into the world, the normal world with normal people, and bamboozle them, and actually get them to believe that life carries on because of the evidence you will give. That's a good build-up, wasn't it? What's the one thing you need to do? Sorry? Trust. That's it. Trust them and be honest with it. Simple as that. Any other questions, quickly, before I go? I'm starving.
We're not going to get dinner.
Oh, I am. I'm going to fish and chip shop. I'm in a motor down the road. I might get an Uber, actually. Right, any questions? No? Good. Me and Ashley are doing what are we doing? Open platform, a bit like a little bit of flavour there. But thank you very much. God bless everyone. Cheers, thank you. Thanks. Thank you.